Welcome to another great session. Today we have Anke Herrmann. Anke is a business coach, tech expert, and author of Taming the Tech Monster, and she lives in the south of Spain. Welcome, Anke. So great to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Sounds amazing. Anke, to begin with, can we start with what were 2-3 aha moments, realizations in the last few years that were instrumental for the growth of your business?
Well, I think, oh boy, there's so many.
You can give me more.
I think the first one that was a really big one for me, it was realizing this whole thing about saying no, right? So that was like, I don't know, I think I was always Mrs. Nice Girl. Yes, it's the default answer. So I was always a bit of a people pleaser. It was never a problem, right? Because if you work in a corporate environment, there's always your job description that protects you from, like when you have your own business, it's a whole different ballgame. All of a sudden, you're the one who has to, handle that. And so if that's an issue for you, it's going to catch up with you. And so, yeah, I didn't know. So I also understood my role as a service provider is if somebody came and wanted something, it was my job or my task to, obligation to give to them what they wanted, right? And it didn't dawn on me until I really burnt myself out because saying yes to everything is really exhausting, right? And so when I got to the point and I thought like, look, I'm done with this, I cannot handle anymore, and started to say no, I got to see finally that saying no does not upset people, saying yes does not make them happy, right? And all the pressure that I'd felt all these years had always only come from me thinking, I know what would upset people. And, seeing through all of that, seeing that, well, I created my own pressure. It was humbling. I felt really stupid, to be honest. But then also liberating, because once you see through it, it's like, oh no, right? And the other thing, and on top of it, that whole business turned around, like my experience of it turned around 180 degrees, like really quickly, and because people can also feel it, right? So it wasn't even that I had to put my foot down or be all tough now. It was, all these issues kind of dissolve, like once you see through it. And so that was a giant one for me, definitely. And I think the other one that I think is quite critical to understand is I saw, I'm a maker. Like I've always liked sewing. I've always loved taking an idea and making it happen. And that applies to software and to sewing and all of that. And all of a sudden I could see that building a business actually it's the same process. It's the same creative process, right? And understanding that there nobody can come on and give you a, follow my step. It's not a straight line, so it's that same iterative process that you go through when you create a painting or when you make something for the first time. You come out with your best guess and then you take a step and then you go, oh, well, no, that's not quite the way I thought. Let's try something different. And, it's a mix of, you have a direction, like you're not floundering, like, you're not drifting, but you're not going to know from the beginning what steps will take you where. So it's literally, and, it's a, I always say, like, it's not a straight line. If you want to give it a shape, it's a spiral. And yes, sometimes you're going to feel like you're running around in circles, right? But you never are. Like you always learn something on the way. And so many times what looks like a failure now is actually the one thing that gives you the idea for the thing that does work. So you couldn't have done it without the failure, and to literally embrace that process rather than constantly try and chase shortcuts. Like that's really what will get you there a lot quicker than always looking for this one magic strategy that will solve all your problems.
Yes, so true. And I so agree that often it feels like this, but it's not a loop. You learn something, you will do better next time. And something you learned may be instrumental for your future.
Absolutely.